Hello and welcome to your practice. Today we're going to go over a spinal balance and I'll show some options for everyone, including a really nice tiger flow where we'll be integrating some left-right side of the body with asymmetrical movements. But we'll get there. So start out in tabletop position. Just stacking the hands right underneath the shoulders and the knees underneath your hips. And we really want to make sure that for the spinal balance, we have a neutral pelvis and a neutral spine. So if your pelvis tends to naturally tilt forward, this is the time to engage the belly a little bit, bring it back to neutral. If you tend to round your back, see if you can find a little bit of a longer spine, like someone's pulling the crown of your head forward and then pulling your tail to create space between each vertebra of your spine. And we're going to start out with just the arms here. So we'll keep the legs down. If you have any knee tenderness, I would recommend adding a blanket for padding or a folded towel, especially because there will come points in this little flow where you'll have one leg back and you'll have a little more weight on one side. So feel free to add that prop. It can be really nice and supportive. And then we'll just start by lifting the right arm up. Now, when you reach your arm forward, your thumb should be facing upward. And the reason for that, we'll bring it down and switch sides. The reason for that is because it helps to position the shoulder into external rotation. You can even give it a try here. Point your thumb down, you might notice your shoulder internally rotate or sort of round in. As you point your thumb up, it helps to bring it back and down. So let's keep going. Big thumbs up as you reach forward with one arm, and then bring it down, carefully placing the hand, and switch sides. And see if you can sync your breath right up with your movement. Breathing in as you reach forward, and breathing out as you lower down. We'll do one more. Staying really strong in your foundation all the whole time. And now we're going to do the same thing with the lower body. So we'll start also with the right leg here, pressing back. And for this first one, just take a little check-in and tuck your chin so that you can look down at your toes. And just notice, sometimes we have the hip orientation that makes our toes point outward. So we tend to be external rotators, some of our bodies. If that's you, see if you can point your toes downward. It might take a little extra effort, but you'll be building stability as you do that. When you're ready, bring that right knee down, putting some space between the knees so you don't feel like you're going to tip over, and then switch sides. Again, trying not to externally rotate and turn out, but rather point those toes down towards the earth and bring it down. And then just keep alternating. Once you've got the feel, you won't have to look towards your toes anymore. And your gaze might be just right on your mat, a few inches out in front of your hands to keep your neck neutral, nice and long. And we'll finish off that set and come back. Now we're going to try to integrate the arms and the legs moving asymmetrically. So when the right arm reaches forward, the left leg will be reaching back, opposite sides. Let's start that way. Reaching the right arm out and then reaching the left leg back. Feeling like someone's pulling on your wrist gently forward and pulling on your ankle gently backward. And then let's bring it down. Remember to put some space between your knees for stability. And we'll switch sides. Trying not to collapse in the shoulder or the back. Press the earth away. Stay really strong and stable. And then bring it down. And reach out with the right arm and the left leg. And bring it down. And inhale as you reach the other side, left arm, right leg. and bring it down. And let's do one more like that on each side. Great, coming back to your tabletop position. We're going to keep the hands in place and keep the shoulders nice and stable and move back to just the right leg now. So stretch your right leg out, feeling strong through the core, through the midsection, and we're going to take a little curl in, bringing the knee towards the chin as you round your back. So now we are coming out of that neutral spine and intentionally coming into forward flexion like we do in cat stretch each time we bring the knee in. Major core strengthening going on. Press back and round in. And we'll do two more on that side. Rounding in, lengthening back, rounding in, and pressing back, just holding for strength, and then go ahead and set your right leg down. Just take a moment here and make sure that your joints are still stacked. You've got space between your knees, and then we'll stretch the left leg out. We'll go for 5 on this side, rounding in and stretching out. And it's not a race. Take your time. That will actually build your endurance. Being able to move slowly and stay strong during that is a really important skill to cultivate. We'll curl in one more time. And then press back. And bring it down. All right. So let's just take a little TLC break for the wrists. The more you sort of get caught up in what you're doing, sometimes the less you think about really protecting the wrists. So we'll interlace the hands, take a few gentle figure 8s in one direction, and then see if you can take your figure 8s in the other direction, which is a nice brain challenge. Also, all of these asymmetrical movements that we're doing are really good for balancing the hemispheres of your brain too. So you're not only getting a body workout, but you're getting a mind workout as well, which is super important. We'll come back to our tabletop position, and let's go into that asymmetrical spinal balance here again. So stretch your right arm forward and your left leg. And maybe that's where you want to stay, or maybe you want to start to round your back and bring your elbow and your knee towards each other. Let's do the same side again, reaching out, bringing it in. And we'll do one more. Rounding in, and then stretching out. And then we'll come back to tabletop. Take a moment, take a deep breath in and out. And we'll do the other side. So left arm forward, right leg back. And then bring the elbow and the knee towards each other and stretch out. 2 more. And then we'll come back to tabletop position. Let's go back to the first side just for a round of 1. Reaching out the right arm and the left leg. Rounding in 1 time. Maybe even hold your shin. Stretch back out. And return to tabletop. And then 1 more on the other side. Stretch out. Round in. Lengthen everything back out. And return to tabletop. All right, so that's given us a lot of movement in just a neutral spine, lots of length, and we've even gotten some core work as we've rounded the back, but we haven't done this shape at all, this spinal extension or a back bend. So there's one flow that goes along with a spinal balance that will get us there, and that's a flow in and out of tiger pose. So for this, We'll start in our tabletop position as we have been doing, and reach out with your right arm and bring the left leg back. So you're in your spinal balance just like usual. But now we're going to bend the left knee, and you're going to press up like you're trying to push the ceiling away. Lift the heart just a little bit. So now you're in that spinal extension. And then take a little twist over your own right shoulder. Reach back towards your foot. Maybe you even briefly tap your heel. And then reach forward again. You can reach your back leg out long and release down. So a little coordination involved in this one. Let's try it on the other side. We'll stretch the left arm forward and the right leg back. Bend your right knee and then twist over your left shoulder, reaching back towards your heel. It's okay if you don't touch it. And reach everything back into your spinal balance and release. We'll do that again. First side. Right arm, left leg, stretching out. Twist. Tap the heel. Reach everything out into your spinal balance and release. Other side. Reach. Twist. Lengthen and release. So I will show full tiger posture here. You can join me if you feel warmed up enough, or just go through one more tap on each side. So we reach the right arm and the left leg out. We twist, bending the back knee, and you might stay right there or actually grab the foot. And that's tiger posture. Reach back out and release. And another way that you can do this posture is from your forearm. So we can place the right forearm down, stretch out, and then come back. And there's a tiger posture right there. If you can't reach your foot, that's okay. Stay with that spinal balancing option where you're just reaching back towards it. It's still giving you all of the tools that you need to build your strength and flexibility and to provide some really nice brain balancing as well. When you're feeling finished, go ahead and take your knees a little wider, and let's just travel back into child's posture today, giving ourselves a break after all that work. And if you feel like you'd like to continue in your practice, just follow the flow wherever it leads you today. And if you feel like you've had enough, give yourself some rest and enjoy all of the fruits of your efforts, the strength that you've built. And I thank you for practicing with me today. Namaste.